Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. I'm Matt, and today we are hopefully correcting some guitar upgrade stuff. Last week, I did some messing around with this here Epiphone Les Paul Special II guitar. It's a cheap beginner guitar. I put in some pickups a couple weeks back. That video is on my channel if you want to check that out. And last week, I did a little bit of fretboard cleaning and conditioning, things like that. And I was going to attempt to put in these Grover tuners, but due to my own lack of preparation, they did not fit. The holes were too small, the tuners were too big, didn't work out. So, did a little bit of research this time. I thought about drilling the holes bigger, but my concern there was that they wouldn't be lined up correctly with the holes that are there, if there's some kind of science to why the holes are where they are, so I didn't want to mess with that. So I looked it up and I found out about a reamer, which goes in and you just make the hole bigger, but you don't change where the center of the hole is. So I got this from a big giant internet retailer that I will not name for like 10 bucks. And I'm going to try to use this to make the holes the correct size so we can fit in the Grover tuners and make this guitar a little more reliable as far as retaining its tuning. Because the tuners that were on before were no good and I wanted new ones, got some Grovers, I want to put them in, make it better. So let's see if I can make it work this time. I really don't know how this is going to go. It resulted in failure last week, so this is, I guess this is part 2 of me trying to put tuners in a guitar. I have no idea how this is going to go. I have my coffee, I have my new tool, I have the tuners, I have the guitar. How bad could it be? The guitar currently has some like washers in the holes there. One hole doesn't because it's busted. So I gotta get those out. Alright, they push right out from the back, that's good. These don't take that much pressure to come out, which is a relief. I didn't know how hard this was going to be. But I'm just taking a screwdriver and just nudging them out. So that's what we're looking at now. Open up our tuners. And inside they have their own similar piece there. They're all here in this piece of paper. This piece of paper, these holes in it, are the correct size we need. This is the size that I need my peg holes to be. So I'm going to take this tool here, put it in till it's kind of snug in there, and that's the size I want. So that's where I'm going to stop. I'm going to take a piece of gaff tape, mark my tool at the stopping point, so that way I know where not to go beyond. I have it taped up at where we're gonna stop. Let's try doing this. Yeah, you just turn it. Get things on a little more of an angle here. I think, yeah, let's just do it like that. All right, not too crazy. Ooh, make my arm a little tired. I'm gonna hate this by the end. So it's working. It's just it's a workout. We got a pile of sawdust underneath here, but that's fine. And I gotta go from the other side. How's this go? Oh, this guy. So, I have to go a little more on this side. You run into some issues with the tool being tapered, but I think that's okay. This thing gets warm from the friction of it all. Alright. That's pretty much in. Wow, look at that. It's in. Overall, it's pretty much on there. This $10 tool saved me a lot of trouble here. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of them. Completely wear out my hands and shoulders. So I'm gonna time lapse from here because this is a bit of a thing and it's gonna eat up my camera battery. I'm gonna fast forward from this point until I get closer to the end. Here we go. Okay, I have a hat on now. My coffee is mostly done, and I watched through about 2 episodes of the JHS pedal show while I got these holes up to size. They're a little bigger. There is overall less headstock because it's all over my table now. And these guys fit, so I'm gonna get them attached and we're gonna see how that goes. So they come with a little thing to put through the other side and a washer for that. They screw into each other. The washer helps it be the right size. They look nice. They definitely look nicer than the other ones too. I really don't like the look of those the ones that were on here before. I don't know if they're in the old video, but they just don't, I mean, you know, I know that aesthetics is not really that important when it comes to a tuner, if not completely unimportant, but I do like the look of these. I like the look of Grover tuners. I think they look, I don't know, simple and practical. I don't want tuners that are flashy. Not that the other ones were. The other ones were just not nice looking, but yeah. And the screw holes for these are different from the ones that were in before. But I'm not super worried about that either. I think that this is fine. I mean, you know, how messed up could this make anything? Like, I'm just gonna drive them in by hand, I think. Here's what these are gonna look like when they work. So I'm gonna work on getting these screws in the back driven in and then string it up, and I will get back to you. It worked. We now have new Grover tuners on the Epiphone Special II. It stays in tune. I put on some new strings, I played around with them a little until they were semi-broken in, and they stopped doing the, you know, tuning fluctuations that happen when the strings are brand new. I played around with it for maybe 20 minutes. Before this upgrade, that was not a possibility to maintain the tuning and doing that. So this is, you know, money well spent on both the tuners and the reamer. One issue I did run into, and I'll show you this in a second, the holes for these tuners on the back of the headstock were not in the exact same place as the other ones. The other ones were kind of on opposite corners. This one just had one down at the bottom in the center. I had to make new holes for that. I do not have immediate access to an electric drill, or any drill for that matter, so I did have to just kind of drive the screws in by hand. They are small little screws. 2 of them didn't work. And by didn't work, I mean, I drove the screw in and then it broke. So like most of the screw is broken off in the wood, and the little ends with the part that the screwdriver, you know, locks into, broke off. The heads of the screws, forgot that word. So what I did for those ones was, luckily the size kind of worked out in a way that I put the old screws in the old holes, and they are on either corner of these new tuners, so they won't wiggle because they're held in place by those. So there's not a screw holding it into the wood from the, like, on either end like that, but it won't wiggle, and then it has the washer on the other side is screwed in tightly, so it's held in place. So I don't see why that's gonna be a problem, but I'll show you what that looks like. So these 2 here, you can see that there's not a screw in there in the hole, but there's ones on either side, either corner. So, you know, these aren't perfectly straight and perfectly beautiful, but they are held in place. And most importantly, the guitar's in tune. I played it for like 20-25 minutes and it's still in tune. So Also, I made a quick little truss rod adjustment while I was there, just to lower the action a little bit. This is a real project of a guitar. It's a beginner guitar. It's nothing special or magical, you know, there's nothing particularly great about it, but it's the one that I'm using to learn how to better maintain instruments and not really worry about screwing some things up. So, you know, goofy headstock situation now a little bit with those tuners that are kind of janky. It's not perfect, but it plays and it stays in tune now. I won't avoid it as much because I usually don't pick it up because it's like it's gonna go out of tune in 2 minutes. Why am I gonna play with it? So now I have it, it's playable, it feels good, it sounds good, it stays sounding good. So, you know, I don't know, I'm excited. If you watched this far, thank you for doing that. And if you notice anything glaring about what I did probably wrong, let me know in the comments because I don't know enough to know if I'm doing anything wildly incorrect here. If you liked this video, hit the like button, and if you want to see more content like this and see what I end up doing with this guy in the future, or see some other, you know, music projects that I end up working on in the near future, or just some gear reviews, things like that, hit that subscribe button. That's all I got for you this week. Thanks for watching.